the kid who left the school as a plumber. And he went through that apprenticeship, then I got married. That's a growth. I'll always say it's a growth, right? It's a good thing. Then I needed something different. I took a risk to start my own plumbing business. Then I took another risk and learned how to trade. And then I amazingly got it profitable. And then I gave up my day job, which was the amazing advancement for me, the biggest achievement in my life. And then I've started educating people, going on. Now, my vision for that is to improve it 100% on where it's now. Okay, and since it started, it's improved dramatically, but going forward in the next 12 months, I want to improve it dramatically again. And like I was telling you, you guys are the first ones who are going to be able to hear about it, about people being able to come to my house. You know, it's on the water, it's in Pelican Waters, and trade with me and see what the potential in this business is. Right now, wherever you're sitting, your potential is massive. Don't limit it. Dream big, absolutely. Sure, I'm never going to be an AFL footballer, right? So it's still got to be a bit practical. But when it comes to learning to trade, if you just after a quarter what I've achieved, or some of you will achieve more than me, everything is possible as long as you believe it to be. And that is fact. And this is where I trade from now. Well, that was my Melbourne office, right? That's on my screens. It's a crazy day at work. But now I've moved up here. It's not all actually set up. I've got to set it all up tomorrow for tomorrow night. Okay, but now I've gone from the plumber out digging. Now I trade. That's the safest and most comfortable place I can be at to trade. All right, so now let's get into what we actually do, what we trade. We trade what's called stock index future contracts. Okay, I don't trade shares. I don't trade Forex. I don't trade CFDs. I don't trade there's plenty of different ways you can trade out there. I trade specifically E-minis, and they're indexes, index trading. You guys would have heard of the ASX 200 or the Australian All Ordinaries. Okay, there's plenty of different indexes in Australia. Then overseas, some of you might have heard of the Hang Seng, the DAX, the Dow. There's lots of different ones out there. Okay, simply an index is a group or basket of stocks, okay, traded as a single contract. Keep it very, very simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it, okay? Instead of buying and selling shares, for example, we buy and sell contracts on an exchange, okay? As simple as that. All the exchanges around the world are made up of different sectors of stocks and all have different groups in them. Okay, so we're trading one item. Why we trade one item is because we can become very good at that. I don't need to go, for example, and learn 10 or 15 different shares to buy or sell or diversify and all that sort of stuff. I'm trading one index, which is very, very simple. Specifically, I trade what's called the S&P 500. It's the biggest one in the world. It's the best because it's the safest, okay? Safety, when you go into the markets, you need to know exactly what you're willing to risk. So if I'm risking, say, $75, I need to know that's my risk. Okay? 99% of the time in this market it is. Okay? So in my opinion, the S&P, most of the professional traders trade this one. It's the safest. It can handle the volume. For right now, for example, with our auto trader, we go into the market with just a little over 800 contracts. Okay? That's quite a lot of contracts. If we were trading a small index, we would actually push the index through the roof every time we entered a trade. Does that make sense? So we need an index big enough to handle all my members. Also, it needs safety, it needs the volatility and volume for us to be able to profit out of it. This one meets every criteria on its own. If you're an index trader already on a different index, for example, all our signals and systems and stuff work on another 3 different indexes out there. But I say specifically trade this one, but some people might like to trade what's called the Russell 2000. And there's another one called the NASDAQ. You guys might have heard the NASDAQ before. There's another one called the Mini Dow. Okay, all our signals and strategies, when our trade works on what I call the ES or the S&P 500, the trade will work on the other 3 markets as well, most likely. So you could actually end up trading all the markets. But focus in on one thing to trade. The S&P is so easy to trade. It keeps it very, very simplistic. Okay, so let's get through the benefits. I've talked a fair bit about the E-minis and some benefits just going through, but it's all about cash flow. You want to create the cash flow as quick as possible. If it's 5 years away or 10 years away, you probably won't do anything. But just say within 6 days' time, you could be up on an auto trader and let that run for 12 months. That's really quick. Most people can comprehend that. Or within 6 months, you could be earning $500 a week or $1,000. Some of you maybe $1,500. After 12 months, you could be earning, $1,000 to $5,000 or better or bigger. Okay? This is really short term, the potential. When you see it and you go, shit, this has massive potential. And I'm going to show you a trade just so you guys can see how it actually all works in the mechanics of it. So the cash flow is king. Our trades take minutes, not months. Massive bonus. I could not stand. People say to me, Dave, do you buy shares? I've got nothing against shares. Shares, there's fantastic strategies out there about them. But personally for me, I say, I can't hold something for 6 months or 12 months. It would drive me nuts. Wait that long to get a result? No thanks. Our trades take 5 minutes to 20 minutes on average. Live trade 2 hours a day. So if you're looking to become a trader, our trading rooms open about 16 hours a day. And I'll take you through different bits and pieces and how it all works. But when you're first learning to trade, you'd want to be doing 2 hours, really maximum a night, 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. Okay? And then what I find now, right now in our trading room, we have at least 20 professional traders, as that's all they do. They're there all night, every day. Okay? But then most people in the trading room will be trading sort of 2-3 hours a night. And because they've still got to go to work, and this is something they're doing on the side to create a future for themselves. Okay, so when you first start, do a few hours a night if you want to live trade. Some people say, I had one gentleman we have a 2-day live event. He turned up to the 2-day event and he goes, Dave, with an auto trader? I said, yes. He goes, do I need a computer? I said, no. He goes, yes. He was wrapped. He goes, I don't want to be sitting there trading. I just want you to do it, look after it. Over 12 months, get me the result I'm after. Okay, so the opportunity is there for both of it. But 2 hours a day, if you want to be a professional trader and learn how to do this yourself, you need to be putting in a couple hours a night, 2 or 3 days a week, preferably up to 4 to 5. Okay, but the slower you go, I always say, the slower you go, the faster you'll get there anyway. So going slow will help you out, that's for sure. Also, take advantage of Auto Trader. So if you're not there, for example, you can switch your account actually over to an Auto Trader account. So if you went away for 4 weeks, hopefully you come back in 4 weeks' time, it could be making you money, right? But the Auto Trader, I'm going to talk about that, is more like, I say, it's a set and forget. Over 12 months, that's what you're looking for. Over 12 months, in my opinion, it'll make 100% plus on its money. And it'll do it year in, year out. Okay? Who would like 100% on their money, by the way? Okay, most people. With very, very limited risk. And then you've got live trading where you could take to 200, 300, 400% on your money, or even better, 1,000% on your money. There's potential there. The difference between the Auto Trader and what you can potentially make personally is that with Auto Trader, I have to be so conservative with it. I have a lot of people on it, and I have to deal with their emotions. Okay, so they can't handle so much as what I can handle, for example. So a slow equity curve. But when you're live trading, especially once you come into my house and I show you how to do it, you can really ramp it up. Okay, and massive, the faster you get your profit going, then you can start using compounded interest and all this other really cool stuff. You can make phenomenal money really, really fast. The small capital outlay to start trading. Like I said, who's willing to risk 50,000? No one. Put their hand up. Who's willing to risk $75? Most people would be there. Okay, and that's the comfort level that you want to enter into. You don't want to be risking $50,000 or $100,000, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, but if you had $50,000 or $100,000 to invest tomorrow, you could put it on the Auto Trader and I'd say fine. If anyone was starting to learn to trade tomorrow and you had a few bucks behind you, obviously you need to take your own circumstances into account. But let's say you had 100K. That was your bank, starting out bank. Okay? I would do 95K on auto, right? And 5K for your live trading. Why do you think I would say that? Hedge your bets? Oh, that's not hedging your bets, really. That's hedging it on auto, really. When you're first learning to trade, you're going to make some mistakes. Doesn't matter who you are. You're going to make some mistakes. You can't get that board in?
Can't see it.
Oh. Sorry. I'll just do it on this board, right, guys? So if you had a 100K bank, when you're first learning to trade, I would do 95K on it, auto, and 5K live account. So when you're first learning, even if you've got $1 million today, and you've got $1 million in the bank, I want you to stick 5K in your account, no more. Once you can learn to make money from that, sure, go and then put another 100,000 in your account or 200,000 or whatever it may be. But the reality is when you're first learning, you could potentially make a lot more mistakes initially, and you'll say, nah, Dave, I won't do that. Let me tell you, when you're first learning, you'll make some mistakes that you need to learn by. A lot of people in our trading room example do live trading and auto trading. And what they actually do, they've got 1 or 2 contracts trading themselves, and then they've got 10 to 15, some of them 30 contracts on the auto trader. Okay, because they trust themselves at that level, but they trust the auto trader at that level. Does it make sense? Because that won't make the human mistakes as potentially this one. Also, it'll be there, but the results of the trading room and the auto trader will be different all the time anyway. Okay, but the auto trader, as we go through this presentation, I'll talk about it, you really need to keep it separate. So some people might enroll in our programs, for example, just to learn to be an auto trader. And some people want to say, you know what, I want to learn to live trade and take advantage of the auto trader. That's where I believe the maximum power is. Okay, and then you might say, you know what, I really like that last one you were talking about, Dave, where you come to your join and trade and really learn how to be a professional trader in a short period of time over 12 months. Okay, so there's all different ways to look at it. The simplicity, I believe, of index trading is phenomenal. Like I said, to learn how to become a plumber, it took me 3 years and some to go out and do the jobs by myself without my boss holding my hand. Okay, learning to trade, all the stuff that we use, and I teach you guys, a lot of it's common sense and there's tricks and hints in there, but within 6 months you will learn everything you need to know. Within 6 months. You'll know how all of this works. You'll know exactly how our signals work. You'll know our money management, the rules, and why we've got them in place. You'll basically know everything we do. Then after that period of time, it's about gaining all the experience that you need. Okay? Because there's one thing that I can't teach you, and that is experience. You need to learn yourself and gain the experiences. And then all the stuff that we've got in place, you apply it at different times. And that is the trick with trading. There's no 100% way that it works all the time. I need to keep tweaking things all the time. With different market conditions, we'll use different strategies. Okay, very similar, but a little bit different. And a little bit of difference makes a huge difference to your overall outcome. Okay, so I believe it's got massive, massive potential and power. So what I want to do now is show you guys an example of a live trade. Who would like to see that, by the way? Raise your hand. Okay, the ones that don't, you know the score. Is the picture going to come on? All right, I'm just going to pause it there. A few things just before we start on that. We've got it up there. I just want to highlight a couple of things to you guys. As a professional trader, the first thing you need to protect is what? Your capital. You need to protect your downside first. Most people go into the market saying, how much can I make? Wrong. How much can I potentially lose is the first question you need to ask yourself. Okay? So what is your risk? Before you go into any trade, what is my risk? I need to know. Straight up. Okay? The way we trade, if you're trading the lowest amount, which is one contract, you'd be risking $75. Okay? $75. Okay, now we can get to what bit? What can I make? What can I potentially make? So what is my reward? So your reward here is between $100 and say $200 on any trade you take. It's very unlikely you'll go for any more than $200 on the way specifically we trade. Okay? So first thing we need to know is what our risk is, what our reward is. And following all the rules and everything else that we'll have in place, which is hugely important, okay? So we need to know those things. A few things that's going to happen when I play this video and show you how it works if I can just have my screen up on the board there. Once we enter the trade, it'll be on this trading dome here. This is what's called a trading dome. Okay, this yellow line you can see across the middle is what's called the current market price. Okay, so it's the current market price is this yellow line here. In this particular example, it doesn't matter why we're buying. In this example, we're expecting to buy and we expect the market to go up. Okay, this is what we're doing here. Our order is actually that red line. So I'm expecting if this market comes up here and hits that, I want to buy contracts at that level and I think the market will go a lot further. Okay? But when I go into the market, so as soon as that yellow line hits the red line, I'll be buying into the market. Two things are going to come up. The first one is my stop loss. So as soon as I go into any trade, straight away my stop loss comes up because I've already predefined it. The second thing that will come up is my profit target. Because in any given trade, I've already predefined what I'm looking for on a trade. Okay? There's one thing during a trade, I can manipulate both of these, but initially when I go into it, I need to know. And I need protection straight away. There's a third thing that comes up you'll see on that trading dome is a brown, and what it is actually, I'll do A for average, right? It gives you your price. It tells you what your price is that you went into the market. So as soon as you go in, the stop loss will be in red. Profit target will be in green. Green is always good. Okay, and you'll see another line which is brown. That's the price we actually enter into the market. Okay? So we're trading, if you're trading one contract, you'd be risking $75 the way we trade. Your reward would be between $100 and $200 once you go into the trade. Okay? On this particular trade, we're going in with, that's a 6. It's 6 contracts. Right, so when this yellow line hits the red one, we're going to be entering into the market.
Are bouncing now, so let's see if we can get a continuation through here. 27.50 is the price. Here we go, it's nearly hit it. One tick off.
So here I'm actually talking to the trading room. We're about to take this trade in the trading room.
About to get filled here, the Nasdaq's shooting up. Here we go, filled now, 27.50.
All right, so we're into the trade. We've got the red line,
get a continuation here,
which is our stop loss. Automatically, in this particular case, you see the green line come up. 30, that's 50, what we're looking in for in our profit target.
It's going to go up. It's very
achievable. It's actually very easy to execute the trades. If at any time we wanted to move our stop loss or our profit target, simply we just put our mouse in the middle and click to our price wherever we want it to move. It's very easy to do. Okay, but we don't want to enter into the market and no stop loss turn up and no profit there, because your potential loss would be what?
Come on, buyers, get in.
Whatever you got in your account.
Really solid buying candle.
And we don't want to be risking all your account, that's for sure. So once we go into a trade, basically now we're a bit of a bystander. We're sitting there to enjoy it, but we're not waiting 6 months, are we? How long are we going to wait? 5 to 20 minutes on average. Sometimes there are trades that take a little bit longer. Okay, but on average, really around 5, 15, 20 minutes will be a maximum trade.
Up in my profit target areas rather.
So another thing that we actually do once we're in a trade is
push up quick.
We'll protect it. So once this market behaves and goes my way, I can actually reduce my risk dramatically. I move it up to what I call a break even at one point. And then I'll say, if it goes to my profit, fantastic. But if it comes down and hits this area, I'm out of the trade, but I haven't lost anything. Okay, and we'll do that as well. So we do what's called protecting a trade a little bit. So I'll just speed this up so you'll notice that. Okay, it's starting to move around a little bit. But what you can actually see down here, can you guys see that clearly or not clearly? That's the actual profit. So at any time, you could actually get out of this trade at any time. Okay, but we've already predefined what we're looking to make, so we need to really stick to it.
Here we go.
So at the
Push it
moment,
at
it's sitting on
29.
450 in front. Okay, you could take that money at any given second. Okay, I'll just speed it up a little bit more because this is such a long trade. This one takes 20 minutes, right? I haven't got 20 minutes for you guys to sit here and go through it with you. But right now, what you can actually see is that I'm not risking any money now. Okay, I've said basically to the trading room as well that if this market comes back down to our entry point, let's get out of this trade because it's not going to work. Okay, so what I've done, that red line which my stop loss was, which was down here originally, now I've actually moved it up to my break-even point. So right now, this is what you call a risk-free opportunity. You're not risking a cent.
Look really good to go up here. Come on, buyers.
I always say, come on, buyers, and then I go say, guys, go out and tell all your friends it's a good time to buy. Just over the next 5 or 10 minutes, just push it up that fraction more. But in the trading room, we do cheering. We have people, I had one lady took her first live trade, and she yelled that loud. Police turned up to her house in about 10, 15 minutes. Her neighbours rang the police because she was scared someone was robbing the place.
Not that far away.
So it can get very, very exciting.
75. So that's where they'll be looking for. I could quite easily go right through that as well.
Well, can we just change this over, guys? Oh, it's actually, we go one more, if you're right. Yep, it's all good.
Just got to hold this pressure.
All right. This market's not behaving.
One more big up candle and they'll be away, there's no doubt. Up we go. All the markets are going up, guys. Here.
All right, so we need a bit of cheering here. Imagine you're at home and you're sitting there and at the moment there's about $700 on there and you're going, oh shit, can't I just take that? And I'm saying, no, hang out and you'll get a little bit more. And you'll be going, come on market, go up.
Here we go. This is the test. They need to hold here. 5-minute candles holding too. Here we go. They're pushing.
Come on, cheer. It won't work.
Here we go. Push up to that 30.
Come on. Cheer a bit louder. Come on, that's half effort.
A couple of sellers there.
A little bit more. Come on.
Broke the high. Now we can get a continuation.
Come on, you guys have got more energy than that.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Just got to hold our nerve here, guys.
Come on. A little bit more.
Alright, it's going. This candle here we want to push. 11.31. They're pushing. Still pushing. All the markets are pushing. Here we go. They're pushing.
Come on. Cheer.
To go. Couple more ticks.
Ah, come on, guys.
There we go.
Hey.
Good job.
Now, that actually seemed like a long time, didn't it? Okay, it was only 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes. Okay, potentially you can go through, I believe in quality trades, not quantity of trades. If I really wanted to take some trades in any given night, I could take 5 to 10. You could find opportunities all over the place. But I'm more conservative, and I say go more contracts because one trade can be worth $1,000 or it can be worth $100,000. It's not about putting yourself under pressure 10 times a night, right? Which some guys like to do, and girls, I should say. 30% of the room, our trading room, is made up by females. 30%. I've done a tally on it the other day. Okay, so it's for everyone. But the reality is the potential cash flow in that one trade, I'm going to show you the mechanics of it. Okay, so everyone just take a seat. In that particular trade, there was 6 contracts on. Was trading what we call 6 contracts. So to trade 6 contracts, you only need $3,000 in your account. All right? This is the reality. I'm going to tell you, using money management, it's a little bit different, but this is the reality, okay? To trade 6 contracts, you need $3,000 in your account. So every $500 you've got in your account, you can trade 1 contract. Does it make sense? So if you've got $1,000, you can trade 2 contracts. If you've got $1,500, you can trade 3 contracts. That's what your broker puts on you to say, you need this much money in your account to be able to trade this many contracts. So it's broker implied, okay? So our risk, which we always need to know what our risk is, our risk to enter this trade on 6 contracts was $450. So straight up, I know on that particular trade, I was risking $450 and not a cent more. Once I moved our stop loss up to our break-even point, how much was I risking? Nothing, okay? Just maybe a little bit of commission. The actual reward on that went for 3.5 points. The actual reward on that particular trade was $1,050. It was $1,050 for 20 minutes. Who thinks that's pretty lucrative? What's the return on investment there? This is what you write, right? Return on investment, insane. Because that's where the potential is. But when you're trading with me, I don't want you trading a $3,000 account and risking $450. It's too much. You're risking too much, okay? But that is the mechanics and the potential and the lure for a lot of people in this market, okay? So you potentially, to risk $450 to make 1,000, who likes that scenario? Raise your hand, okay? And a trade doesn't take 6 months, does it? How long would it take you on the share market to make $1,000 off 3,000? Not 5 to 20 minutes, right? A lot longer, okay? This is where, as a day trader, remember, I'm not a investor. I'm a day trader. So I go into the market in any given day, potentially looking to make money that day. As soon as we made the 1,050, that's straight in your account that day, right then and there. You can take it out that night, okay? And also, so just say if I made $3,000, I add another $1,000 because my account's now $4,000, I can go a few more contracts, right? Because you can reuse your capital multiple times a day. So this is where it's very, very lucrative. But now let me bring you guys back to earth a little bit. If you're trading this much, we want to risk, how much of our capital do we want to risk? 3%. Around 3%, no more than that, okay? No 10%, 20%, 100% of your capital. It's crazy. So every contract you trade, one contract you trade, okay, minimum capital you should have is $2,500 per contract. So every $2,500 you've got in your account, trade one contract. Okay, if you've got 5,000, go 2 contracts, 10, go 4 contracts, and up and up and up. Okay? Now, to execute the trade I just showed you, if you're following the way I trade in our money management, you'd need $2,500 times 6. How much does that equal? 15 grand? 15K, all right? So, potentially on that last trade to make 1,060, on a 15K account, it's still a pretty good return in 20 minutes, isn't it? What is that, about 10, it's about 7.5%, if my maths are correct, or close enough, somewhere there. Okay, so it's still a good return on investment, that's for sure. And you could go on and take the next trade and the next trade and the next trade. But the idea is, if you can do this one trade every week, it can be worth $1,000 or it could be worth $100,000. What trading is about, and e-mini trading, is about getting consistency of slowly getting the winning trades over the losing trades. Does that make sense? Okay? We're not always going to get more winning trades than losing trades, and we're going to get everything in between. But what it's about is stacking all the odds in our favour to get the result we're after. Okay? I can't call 10 trades out of 10 all the time. I'm not going to get 10 losers in a row all the time. I'm going to get fluctuations in between. Okay, but what it is, over time, if I'm only getting it 50% right and 50% wrong, the way I set it up, I'll be still killing it. Because on that last example, did you see our profits are bigger than what we're potentially risking? Did you see that, by the way? Okay, that is the trick to trading, especially day trading. You can't have a massive risk and go for small profit targets. Okay, you've got to have a ratio better than 1-to-1 going in your favour. So every time you lose $75. When you win between 100 and 200, something like that. Okay, it's common sense. When I first started, my risk was bigger than my potential reward. It was nuts. It's what I call ludicrous. Okay, but I didn't know that when I was starting. So it makes sense though when I tell you guys, doesn't it? So yeah, you should be going for more profit. Okay, even with short-term trading. So the potential in these trades and going through these trades is absolutely phenomenal. So where we teach you guys to do all this, we have an online trading room. Okay, you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to download any software. It streams to your computer. So part of our program, when I'm trading, I'll say, listen, guys, we're buying now or we're selling now. And you'll hear me say it and see us taking the trades, every single one we call. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So you receive a unique password, username and password to come in as soon as you enroll in our program, and you enter in our live trading room. What you'll see on your own screen is this. Okay, so this here is what's called a trading dome. That's where we go to make our money on. On the left-hand side, you'll see this funny looking black background chart is what's called a candlestick chart. This represents where the market is moving. Whether the market's going down or up, this candlestick chart tracks the market. And from the patterns we see on those charts, that tells us when we should be buying or selling into market. We use what's called technical analysis to tell us we should be buying now or we should be selling now. Okay? So if I'm moderating the trading room and you can see my screen, or someone else is moderating the trading room, this is what you'll see once you come in. So here, when we say, all right, guys, we're going to buy at 1200, we put our order to buy on at 1200. So visually you'll see it, and you'll hear us telling you as well. Does it make sense? That'll give you a hell of a lot of confidence to say, you know what, these guys are buying and selling. I'm going to buy and sell right now. Okay, we do it right there in front of you. A lot of people, unfortunately, would do some fantastic programs out there or different sort of courses, but they do the program and then they'll put it on the shelf. Why do they put it on the shelf? Fear. They haven't got that person just to hold their hand and take them through the first few trades. Does it make sense? We have what's called a 50-trade learning program. When you first enroll and come into our trading room, you'll take a trade with me. Then you'll take another trade. You'll take 50 trades with me before you risk a cent. And if you've taken 50 trades with me before, I've said we're buying now, selling now, and you've done that 50 times, do you think you'll be ready to go on the 51st one? Yes or no? You'll be ready to go because it's like a routine. When you first come into the trading room, I'm trying to brainwash you to a certain, in a good way, right? Because what I want you to get is to consistently just buy and sell, take the trades as they come. Okay, because that's just executing one plan and then create your own plans going from there. Down the bottom here, this is where you get to communicate with us. So if I'm moderating the trading room, I'll be talking and everyone can hear me. Okay, but not everyone can talk back to me, right? Because there's just way too many people in there. So how you communicate, you write down your message to me and press enter or send, and then it'll come up on my screen, it'll come up your name and whatever you've written to me. And then I can just answer you via talking. Just like I am now. Whether it's me moderating the room or someone else moderating the room, you ask a question. There's no such thing as a silly or dumb question. If you don't know something, you don't know something. Ask. What you'll find, though, in the trading room, do you think there's a lot of questions going on in there, yes or no?
Yes.
Massive amounts of questions, right? It just goes, Brrr. And so someone's normally thought of what you wanted to ask anyway. So as you're going through, we're answering your questions, and even stuff you haven't thought of before, we're explaining things to you, and the learning environment rapidly increases everything. Within 6 months, you'd be amazed. If you know nothing about the markets to the end, it's amazing how much you learn really, really fast, okay? So I've taken people who've known nothing about it within 6 months to telling me what's going on. All right, those people just be quiet in the room. Okay, so that's how it works. So the live trading room, in my opinion, it's the most powerful way to learn how to trade. Not having it, you'd be in a world of pain. That's for sure. Just to have someone to say, we're buying now, selling now, taking you through the winning days. You know, if you get too confident, I'll pull you back. If you're making mistakes, we'll help you as much as we possibly can, and everything in between. Take the trades that they're called. So first, when you come into the trading room, as soon as we're calling trades, we want you on day one to take the trades with us straight away. Okay, it's not just come in there and sit and do nothing for a few months. It's come in there, take the trades on what's called simulation, so you're not risking a cent. Instant answers to your questions, so you're not waiting a week to find out what's going on. If we're buying and selling now, you say, Dave, why are we buying here? Or how's this set up? Or why are we doing this? Does it make sense? You're learning in a fast-paced environment with an online trading room, and especially to give you the helping hand and give you the confidence to trade live. Trading is a lot to do with confidence. Who would agree? Massive amount of confidence you need. But when you first start, you haven't got the confidence. What I need to do is build you up over time. So you'll start, your confidence will be, maybe there, right? And then over the first 3 months, your confidence rises, over 6 months, over 12 months, and then you become to what I call an unbreakable confidence. Right now, I've got an unbreakable confidence within myself that I will never, ever lose money trading the markets. Because over the last 4 years, I've been very successful at it, and it just doesn't happen anymore. Just up and up and up from there. And that's where you want to get to. So building your confidence is one of the massive keys. Okay, so I just want to quickly show you what the potential results you can get. Oops. Okay. With the trading room, this particular result chart goes from March, okay, right through to now. So you see now, the last little bit's not been too bad, right? Win, 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 win. There's not too many losing days in there, right? There's a little bit of a winning streak going on there. But if you've taken all the trades from March up to this day, so if you were there the whole trading hours, even I'm not there the whole trading hours, right? So it'd be difficult to do. But if you took all the trading calls in the room and you were there from March all the way to now, starting with a $5,000 account, your account balance right now would be $13,155, or that's how much would have added to it. So your $5,000 would have went to $13,000. So over 100% on your money. Then you need to take out the commission, though. That's not taking out the commission. Okay, so if we go to the actual top of the results, up here. So if you started with a $5,000 account, and you've got to take the fees out of it, so there would have been over all those trades, so over 5 months, you've got to pay the brokers, right? Or do we need to pay them? No? Wish, right? But they're like the tax man. They always get paid first, right? Okay, so if you started with 5,000, you would have had some fees, but your account would have been over 100% on your money if you're there for every single trade, all the winning trades and all the losing trades. Over the time, it's at 113 winners and 90 losers. Okay, so it's working, what's that, percentage-wise? About 55, 60%? Wins over losses. But this is where the power of just getting it a little bit right, how you can make a hell of a lot of money. Does it make sense? So over 3 months, or March, what's that, about 6 months, is it? Over the past 6 months, potentially 100% on your money if you were taking all the trades.
What's your name? Where are you from?
How you going? My name's Clint from Runaway Bay, Gold Coast.
No worries, Clint. How long have you been trading e-minis for?
About 9 months now.
And that's with David?
Yep, with David, yep.
And this is your first 2-day or?
This is my second 2-day event, and yeah, loving it. It's really good, learning a lot. It's good to go over a few things that might sometimes slip in your mind a bit. It's good to rehash a few things and get into a bit more technical stuff as well.
And over 9 months, have you had some pretty good results?
Yeah, I have, mate. Yep, I have. It's been really good. The integrity and the honesty of everyone behind the course and the help that you get, especially from yourself, Nick, has been fantastic.
Thanks, mate.
And yeah, no, really, really good. Highly recommend it. And basically looking at towards in January, going with this full time and finishing up my usual work. So.
Fantastic, mate. And you've been doing the auto trader, you said?
Yeah, auto trader, yep.
You've had a few good results on that lately?
Yeah, that's been working well the last sort of month or so, and yeah, full credit to David for that.
So you said you're going to go on holidays and just load up on that for a while?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to Asia next week, so I'll whack a few more contracts on there and see how we go.
Good stuff, mate. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate.
All right, so this guy, the interesting thing about this guy's testimonial, and what I want you guys to all to capture, was the main thing that he said is that I'm going full-time in January. Did you hear that? Did you hear him say that? How long has he been trading with me for? 9 months. So right now, I know this guy very well. So him specifically and a friend of his has already gone full-time, have been building up over they've had a plan over 12 months, that's when they're going to go bang, and this is when they're going to be full-time. And this guy has done a couple of 2-day events, and he's been through all the training. Okay, and that's my goal, is for over a period of time to have as many professional traders as I can. Doing it over a 12-month period is perfect. You know, some people have actually do it over 3 or 4 months, is probably a little bit rushed, but over a bit longer period is exactly what you should be after. And over a 12-month period is definitely what we're all after, and that's the result I'm after for you guys. So recently, and this is what I'm trying to press